seen these appalling scenes in Israel as fighting continues to break out. I'm going to be joined now by Sharren Haskel. She's the member of the Knesset for the centre-right party, the National Union Party. Sharren, thank you very much indeed for joining me. What I can only imagine is an absolutely appalling time for you and fellow Israelis. Can you describe the situation there for us to give us an idea of exactly what's going on?
Thank you, Camilla. This has been one of our most devastating attacks that we've experienced in more than 50 years since the war of Yom Kippur. This wasn't just a declaration of war by Hamas, but this was actually war crimes that were committed against the Israeli people. These were crimes against humanity. If you follow some of these videos that were published, these are women who has been taken as hostages. They infiltrated 22 towns in the country of Israel, in the state of Israel, going from house to house, completely massacring family after family. We're talking here about women, children, elderly. This is civilian, innocent civilian population. These are children. This was not just a declaration of war, but it was actually crime wars and acts against humanity committed by Hamas against Israel.
Sharren, before we go on, I just want to ask you whether you are safe, whether your family is safe. Do you have anyone directly connected to you that's been affected by what's happened so far?
Of course, I mean, we have 300 deaths and the body are being counted. We have 1,800 casualties and the numbers still are going up. One of the head of the municipalities in the area was shot dead while trying to defend his family, his wife, and his child at the entrance of his home. Now, this is a head of council that was trying to build an industrial area that is shared by Israelis and Gazan citizens. We've seen women being taken as hostages into the streets of Gaza. The sites that we are seeing are similar to the sites that we've seen in videos spread by ISIS, by Daesh, all around the Middle East. We are extremely worried about our hostages. These are women, children, elderly that are being taken to Gaza. And by what we've seen in the footages, they're being abused, being spat on in the streets of Gaza. I'm extremely worried. I'm worried about my family, my friends, members that I've known, that I know, and we're still looking for them. This is a devastating situation.
Are people trying to leave? Has there been a rush on the airports? I happen to have a friend who's got a relative in Israel. He's trying to come back via Jerusalem. What's the situation on the ground? One would imagine that Israelis are now living in fear of their lives.
So the military have recruited the reserve forces in order to go down to the south to bring back the safety and the security of the citizens in our country. It means that they're probably going to go, and they are trying now to still liberating two, I think, towns left in order to bring those citizens into safety. The army put most of the citizens around the Gaza Strip in order to go into a full-on military defense move that is needed in order to liberate, children and women that are being taken hostage and are being held captive in Gaza. Unfortunately, Hamas has forced us to go into Gaza again. This is something that we didn't anticipate because in 2005, Israel completely evacuated the Strip of Gaza from every single living Jew. They were given an autonomy. They were declared by the United Nations. And unfortunately, instead of building a beautiful Singapore from this area, the Gazan people have voted democratic elections and have turned it into a nest of terror while investing all of their funds, money, and energy on hatred, on violence, on arms to fight against Israel.
Sharren, what should the Western world do now? We've had some commentary in our papers this morning questioning Joe Biden's international leadership. Also, of course, the question of Hamas managed to carry out this surprise attack in the first place.
Well, Camilla, this will be remembered probably as the first day of war between Israel and Iran. Hamas doesn't have the capability of creating such an attack. We're talking of a whole battalion of terrorists running towards the fences, infiltrating 22 towns and massacring family after family. We have technological capabilities. We have a strong army. And you need to understand who is standing behind this attack. And it's Iran. The international community has to join forces together. They have to single out Iran and take them out of the United Nations, any kind of forum and any kind of membership, because they are standing behind one of the worst massacres that we've seen. This is not just, Camilla, an attack on Israel. This is an attack of extremist Islam, of radical Islam on the Western world. If they will prevail against a country who values the values of democracy, of freedom, of liberty, the next one in the line will be Europe and more countries to follow up. This is a full war that Iran has opened against Israel and against the Western world and the values that we share and cherish so much.
Sharren Haskel, thank you very much indeed for joining me this morning on what I know is a very, very difficult time for you and fellow Israelis. Try and stay safe.